So welcome to this class. So in this class we'll be looking at user experience design for agentic system. Designing trust, control, usability around autonomous AI agents. My name is Funke R. Yusuf. Welcome to this channel, and please remember to subscribe and like. Trust-centered agent experience. So in this subtopic or topic, we'll be looking at UX layer, capability limits and progress. We'll be looking at agent core, recent plan and act, and then we'll be looking at how to implement the 2+ memory while putting your user into consideration. So if you design a system that is too complex to use, you're not going to get a customer that will use it. So your system must be usable and it must be easy to use. Okay, so agentic UI design is very, very important. All right, so UX is as critical as models architecture, architecture. So a powerful model still fails when user cannot trust, predict, or recover from it. So a powerful model that is powerful to the software architect may not be as powerful or as useful to the user. So if you don't put user experience into your system design, you'll be designing a system that is meant only for you and nobody will use it. So that is why this topic is very, very, very important. So agent trust architecture, this is how the UX architecture work. Capabilities, what can the agent do? Limitations, what needs care? Just done. Capability, make sure you design for what the agent can do. Design for the limitation, that is what needs care, that is what does your users need assistance with. Then uncertainty, confidence plus risk, and what is happening, progress. So user trust, make sure you build an explainable system, a reliable and predictable system that can recover from failure. So make sure you are transparent, predictable, and recoverable in your UX design, because that is what your user will trust. Build a trustworthy system. Okay, so trust as a service. So key design principle. Number 1, show capabilities and limits before user rely on the agent. Make sure you put the agent capability and limit into consideration in your design pattern before you roll it out to users. Expose uncertainty, progress, and reason behind key actions. Make sure the reason why the agent is acting in a particular way is given. For example, we have Codex or Cloud. So when it want to implement task, it will ask you, shall I dangerously take decision, or allow, or yes or no, and all those things. Those are users design. And when the agent cannot solve the problem, it will tell you that this problem is not right for this situation, or it will tell you the outcome of the situation when it works, and if you say okay, go ahead, it will go ahead. So those are good user design on the part of Codex and the Cloud Code. Expose uncertainty, progress, and the reason behind key actions. So make sure uncertainty is exposed, make sure progress is exposed. You can see thinking, acting, how long it will take to solve a problem, and all that. Then the reason behind key actions, the reason why the agent is acting in a particular way. Make sure these are also taken into consideration. Make behavior predictable enough for users to build mental models. So make sure the agentic system is predictable. Make sure your design is take into consideration predictability before you roll it out to your user. So this will enable your user to trust your model and use it. Treat UX signals as production requirements, not final polish. So make sure from the start, when you are building the architecture, put UX design pattern into consideration. Design from the UX as well, not just designing the UX interface. When you've designed the agent, the APIs at the back end of everything, then just adding UX as a polish. No, make sure you also put UX design pattern into consideration from the start. Trust comes from transparent behavior, not from standing or sounding confident. So make sure you are transparent, uh, and also be confident. So confidence without transparency result in ambiguity. So interaction modality shapes effectiveness. So choose modalities from task context, traceability, structure, speed, emotion, and risk. So put all this into consideration. Make sure your the workflow is traceable. Make sure it is structured. Make sure you put speed into consideration. Build a system that is empathetic. You know, that can reason and act with human, not just a robot, not just input output or a chatbot. No, build an empathetic system, put emotion into your design, and also design for risk. Blend modality while preserving state. So we have traceable test, that's traceable plus async. We have voice, hands-free plus fast. So or when you are design for people that want to type, that prefer typing. Also put into consideration voice for people that like to just turn on the agent, speak, and they speak into the agent, then the agent interact back with speech as well. So put this into consideration. So design for people that you know want to type, and design for people that want to use voice. So task contest, urgency, risk plus environment. So you have your task, and then you have your GUI, structure plus discoverable, video, emotional plus brand rich. So these are very, very important UI design pattern that you must put into consideration. Text interface, voice interface, GUI, structured and discoverable, and also video, emotional plus branch. So we have agents that can generate video now, but most of them, you just have to upload video while they just give you output. So these are important UX design pattern that you must put into practice. So test is strong for logging, review, and async work. GUI makes structured visible and actions discoverable, and voice and video add speed and richness but needs stronger verification. So make sure guardrail is very, very important here when you want to include voice and video in your UX design. Discoverability, context, and failure handling define usability. So please make sure you like and subscribe to this channel as you continue along with us, and make sure the codes are also in this channel. So look at the code for UX design and how to implement it into your system as well when you are design. I've also included the Git repository where you can check the code and also use it in your own design. Okay, so advanced agents feel brittle when user cannot find capabilities, maintain context, or recover from errors. So it's become very rigid and ambiguous when you build an advanced agent with many capabilities, but it cannot recover from errors. So it should just be there, it will not be useful. So usable agents must be discoverable, surface what it can do. Okay, so it must be discovered, that is, implement for what it can do, be transparent with what the agent can do, then recovery, explain plus next best step. So explain what it is doing and also give room for next best step to use. Okay, and then acting, execute with feasible intent. Make sure the intent of the agent are feasible before it acts, and the reason why it is acting the way it does. Okay, so context, Remember state overtones. Remember state overtones. Okay, context. Do not just give ambiguous prompts. Make sure you build context. Okay, context is right information for a particular task that is needed for a particular task. Be specific and clear when you are defining context. So every failure should leave the user with a clear path forward. Retry, edit, approve manually, or escalate. So let the user be able to retry, be able to edit their input, be able to approve manually, okay, or escalate. So when you can design a system where the human in the loop will approve before the agent acts, you can design a system that will be fully autonomy, or you can design a traditional system where human does everything. So it can be a mixture. Human can do everything, or you can build agent take 50% agent ask, agent act, agent asks what to do, then human give what to do, and agent do what is needed. So where human give problem and agent execute, or you can have a fully autonomy or application where the agent take 100% autonomy without any human in the loop. Multimodal and generative UIs enable fluid experience. So make sure your UI is multimodal. Make sure it has many operations or text generation or voice usage, video, and GUI. Very important. So the best interface converts messy user intent into structured task aligned outputs. So that is why you can type error into your system, into your agent, and it still give you correct feedback. So that is one of the design pattern. So multimodal inputs, design for the following: text, GUI, voice, and video, and make sure you implement or guardrails and validation for anything that involves voice and video. Then shared agent state, context, memory, and intent. So also put this into our practice. Put context, memory, and intent into your design as well. And then generated interface like tables, forms, dashboard. So we agents now even give you UI instead of giving you tests. They can give you videos, they can generate structured video, they can generate structured table, structured forms, even PowerPoint, Word document, PDF document, and so forth. Put all these designs into consideration. So table form and dashboard and human feedback. Human can approve what to do or edit what has been given or override the information in the system. So these are very important user experiences that you must put into practice. Generated UI must be constrained. So you always use templates, guardrails, priority field, and progressive disclosure to avoid overload. So preserve states across modalities so the user never has to restart. Generate structure only when it clarifies task. And finally, guys, so autonomy must be adjustable, not fixed. So build a model that is adjustable, not just 100% autonomy or 50 or 100% traditional. So make sure it is 50-50. So use autonomy slider. Autonomy slider is the UX pattern that turns agent power into safe user control. So include autonomy slider in your agent when you are building them. You can have manual where user control every step. You can have assist design pattern where agent recommend the draft and the user take action. And then you can also have 100% autonomy where agent execute within guardrails. So always make sure you put guardrail into your design when you are building or when you are building for high autonomy. So we have low autonomy, shared control, and high autonomy. So mandatory trust gate, transparent next action, easy override, recoverable execution, approval for high risk step. So where you are building for if it's a problem that is high risk, like in supply chain, where you have a vendor approval and all those things, you can implement human in the loop, so where human decide before the agent can act. Okay, so anything that involves legal, financial, operation, or medical system, make sure there is always a human in the loop that will execute certain tasks. Key takeaway: so users should be able to increase or reduce autonomy without losing context. So put this into practice when you are building for users. So UI design is very, very important in agentic system. Thank you for waiting till this time. Thank you for listening. God bless you. Please subscribe and like. Bye.